Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. Oh, boy, this is really one of them. I mean, it's really amazing. It's startling. It's stunning. It's astonishing. It changed the way you view the musical universe. Actually, it did, at least for me. We're talking about Vivaldi's The Four Seasons, and a recording I've mentioned on quite a few occasions. This one with Nikolaus Harnoncourt and the Concentus Musicus Wien, die vier Jahreszeiten. Yes, they do it auf Deutsch. The Four Seasons, because this was originally issued on Telefunken. Remember Telefunken, which later became Teldec? But I think it was Telefunken back in those days. It was recorded in 1977. This is the Japanese edition, which I got here because it became very, very difficult to find this as a solo disc for a while. And I like to keep track of these things. And I also sometimes lose track of them as well as keeping track of them. The soloist here, the violin soloist, is Alice Harnoncourt, Alice Harnoncourt. Yeah, there she is. She's amazing. This is the weirdest recording of the Four Seasons ever. It's also one of the greatest recordings ever. But why is it one of the greatest recordings ever? Well, to be honest, it's not my favorite Four Seasons. I mean, I'm an Musicus guy, and they recorded it like 50 times, and you've got, several you can choose from. I prefer the more lyrical, Italianate, kind of sweet, beautiful, elegant versions of the Four Seasons. This is just the opposite. This is the Four Seasons at a truck stop. I mean, that's what this, on the New Jersey Turnpike. That's what this is. This is rough and ready and unbelievable. The Four Seasons is based on four poems, sonetti, I think they are, like sonnets, which describe the seasons. And these concerti follow the actual text of these sonnets very, very closely. Now, you don't have to know what they are. You don't. It's not necessary. It's actually a little bit crazy to even try. But they're published with the score, and you can see how Vivaldi attempts to realize this. For example, in the summer, when it's the slow movement of summer, when everything is, the winds are lazily wafting, and the dog is barking, and the viola going ruff, 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 like that. That's a dog. You'd never know it. To listen to it. And of course, one of the things that makes music, frankly, is that even when it's descriptive, it has to be intelligible as music. It's not going to have silly effects that make no sense. But the storms and the winds and things, can do all of that nature stuff without any problem. But what this performance does is realize those effects with absolutely insane intensity and disregard for tonal beauty, and with a almost malicious glee in just sounding different as you possibly could from what we were used to hearing in this music. And that's why this is one of the greatest recordings ever, because it does that, but it succeeds in doing that. It's not gratuitous. It's a genuinely probing investigation of what the musical possibilities are, in part through the medium of historically informed practice. But more than that, it's an aesthetic decision that music is more than merely pretty, that when Vivaldi writes about a storm, he means it. And that really was a new thing. It was a new thing for me. It was a new thing for all of us. It's what the period instrument movement really did. It forced us to rethink what music could sound like and what the sort of aesthetic basis was for producing sound. And that was a wonderful thing. Now, having said that, having heard it once, you may never need to listen to it again, because after all, it's a limited formula. It's a limited formulation. If the idea is, well, as long as it sounds different from what we do now, it must be right, and we're just going to rough it up. That only gets you so far. You have to be musicianly. You have to be a musician of genius, of interpretive, intensity and necessity and all of those things. And of course, period instrument performances are no better than modern instrument performances. 99% of them are junk, and every so often something fabulous comes along. Well, this was something fabulous, and it was really, really new. I mean, that the slow movement of Winter. It's the one where you're ice skating. And I adored it, the way I Musici did it. You know, it's got delicious pizzicato. You know, the violins are going... And the violin solo is going... Of course, nowadays, they'll ornament the crap out of it. You know, I mean, you know, it's unrecognizable, but he takes it. It's marked Adagio or Largo. It's a Largo, isn't it? Yes, it's Largo. Right? Yeah, it's a Largo. And he's like, I mean, first of all, the pizzicati are like plunk, 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 plunk. It's like you're poking something to death. And it's really fast. It's I mean, this is not. It takes all of 1 minute and 17 seconds in this performance. Usually it's double that at least. You know, it's not people graciously gliding over the surface of the ice in the winter. This is Nancy Kerrigan being pursued with with Tanya Harding yielding a crowbar. I mean, that's what this is. Like I said, it's the sort of rough and ready blue collar kind of approach to the Four Seasons. And wow. What a difference. So anyway, yeah, this is just great. It's absolutely one of the greatest recordings ever, and you need to hear it. And having heard it and knowing what the period instrument movement is all about, you can decide whether you care if you do anything else that they decided to do later. Wow, it's that simple, really, and that much fun. It's just incredible fun. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me, and take care.